Hi, and welcome back to Unpaid Film Critic. It's been a while, definitely. So what have I been up to? Well, I've been playing a lot of video games. Most importantly, the game that I will be reviewing. Yes, I am doing a game review. The game that I'm talking about is Red Dead. How do I describe this game? It is basically the best Western game I've ever played. The movement in the game is very excellent. Rockstar did an amazing job with it. The story is very interesting. It's the story of the outlaws towards the midsection of the Great America Reconstruction, where it was Manifest Destiny a lot, as in more industry was being taken over. And it's very interesting as you play throughout the game. You can either be good or bad. I'm not saying which is which, but I'm saying that both have different endings. Both have different endings. I think this game made me cry at the end. If you play the game, you know why. But if you haven't and you're wondering, just play the game. It's really good. It's one of my favorite games I've ever played. About the game itself. The game you play as Arthur Morgan. He's part of a gang of outlaws. The leader is Dutch, and he's very interesting. Because if you pay attention to around his character goes on a massive change. So does Arthur's. Arthur's one is a bit more hard to explain because I don't want to give away too much of the game, but all I gotta say is that your choices do matter in this game. Choices do matter. How you talk to people, how you treat people does matter. Throughout the game, you're playing it and you're having a good time, but in the back of your mind, you're like, what's it building up to? And the thing is, I'm not going to say it, but it's really important. Throughout the game, there's tons of nods towards historical events, which is very interesting. Yeah. You're playing the game, it's an excellent game, and it's one of my favorites. The game, I think, goes for $60 US. Could change depending on where you live, but I think it's $60 on PS4, Xbox, and on the next series. But mainly in the US. In the US, it's $60. Could differ where you are and where you buy the game and what console you can play it. What I mean by what console is, are you next gen or old gen? I'm an old gen gamer. I'm an Xbox S, so that's what I play on it. Yeah, but I have to say, I love that game. That game is one of my favorites. The soundtrack is amazing. Listen to the soundtrack after you play the game, and as soon as you hear certain songs, you will tear up. I'm not saying what songs, but I'm saying that there are some stuff that once you hear that music, you just get teary-eyed because you know what happens. And it's really good. It's a really good show. Really good game. I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite. I know I'm repeating myself, but I want to talk. So this game is really interesting on how it talks about stuff, because you throughout the game, throughout the game, you're hearing one of the guys just going on how he wants to get away from civilization and away from the big city, but he ends up doing the opposite. It's very interesting on that. The game itself, it's one of my favorites of last year, because I beat it last year, and that game, it talks a lot about the American dream and how corrupt it can be. Honestly, people have written essays on YouTube. I highly recommend you go check those out. On how Red Dead really talks about the American dream and how corrupt it could be and how money corrupts everyone. Capitalism is false. Yes. Yes, throughout this game, there is huge nods towards socialism or socialistic intent, but then it's also capitalistic. It's like it's so interesting playing the game. And then there's like really good people that you really like, and there's really people that you don't really like, but it's really interesting. This game is just so fun to talk about. One of my favorite songs in it is "That's the Way It Is," which is a really interesting song. That's the way it is. Many miles we've brought, the feelings are the same. Yeah, it's that song. When I just sang was a bit of that song. I know I don't have the best voice, but yeah. Yeah, this game is really fun. I highly recommend it. I give it a I get a 10 out of 10. Actually, no, a 9 out of 10. Gunslingers. Yeah. Yeah. And, yeah, so my next review, my next review, which I will be doing tomorrow, will be about a movie about food that stars Nick Holt and Anya Taylor-Joy. Those two star in this film. It's really good. I highly recommend it. It's called... I'm not giving away the name. The next movie I'll be doing is a film called The Menu. It's a horror comedy film. It's really good. You hear my take on it tomorrow. But until then, have a fun day. Happy holidays. And please, relax. We're all going to be fine.